I've been working in my lab on what I call mixed reality, which is looking at how can we merge the virtual world together with the real world. And I've been looking at all of the senses, so not just audio and visual, but also touch. For example, can we hug through the internet, and taste and smell? So for example, could you communicate with your grandmother by cooking with her together? So, bringing people together in a much more natural and humanistic way. I think we're moving from the age of information. We can have limitless information and limitless communication, but somehow we've lost the humanity. So we have to now bring a new stage of communication, which is the communication of experience. And this will be a way of humanizing information, bringing people together. I think this will benefit the world from the point of view that we all can feel much closer together. From a second point of view, these inventions need to have creativity. So I think if we can provide these inventions and this creativity to children and young people in the developing world, they can become inventors. And you can have developing world, developed world, collaborating together. For example, making something together and really changing a new kind of creative economy. I think this way I hope we can change the state of the world through new kinds of creative economy in all the world. Originally I'm an engineer, so I'm kind of geek. I like to invent things. But since I joined the YGLs, I started to have a different perspective. So instead of just inventing cool gadgets in the lab and to show a limited community of tech geeks and academics, I've been really thinking now, can we use inventiveness, creativity to really make some impact in bigger society? For example, with children, with families, and developing world. So I think media, creativity, invention, these are all things which is going to be required for the next stage of economy and can solve a lot of problems. A lot of problems I think didn't really get solved just through narrow thinking about technology or just by providing some money. You need that element of creativity and inventiveness. So that's what I want to do. In the young global leader community, there is people coming from science background and technology background, so of course I can naturally collaborate with them. But for example, in Singapore, there's a member of parliament, Penny Loy. She was one of the original young global leaders. She's from a totally different background, but she's working in social entrepreneurship and through together. So I've started to work with her in Singapore, and also, now also, she's had branches around the world. How can technology be used for increasing social entrepreneurship? And one example is, for example, can we make toolkits, software and hardware toolkits, and design workshops and new kinds of policy. So you're working together, people who come from government, people who come from design background, technology background, working together and allowing children to become more creative in developing world. So for example, this is a couple of projects I've been working on in the Youth Task Force, which is looking at how can we make toolkits to make children more creative. And in the Science and Technology Task Force, how can we make toolkits that in the developing world children can become inventors. I think what's going to happen is we will no longer see a separation between, now basically everything is behind a screen. The internet, games, virtual reality, everything's behind a screen. That's going to come in front of the screen, and so we will no longer think that to access the internet we have to turn on some device. It'll be everywhere. It'll probably be maybe even embedded in our glasses. It's going to be, the carpet will be intelligent. It'll be able to measure every footstep and tell you how many steps you took per day, and if you have to walk more, maybe everything you put in your mouth will be measured. So the internet will be everywhere. Internet will be embedded in almost every physical device. So I think that's what we're really going to see with mixed reality, a real merging of virtual world with physical world together. And I think the applications of this we can't even imagine. Just like if you ask someone in 1990, can you Google something? They wouldn't know what does that mean, So although we can see a trend, the internet will be everywhere, but I think that with human inventiveness, it's going to radically change our society in ways that even we can't imagine.